Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you all have been attending last few sessions of professional communication. So the thing is that moving on to the rest of the portions of professional communication in the fifth module, we'll be moving on to the following topics, which generally includes the technical writing, what technical writing is about, then common errors in writing, then of course the describing a process, how a process have to be undertaken, and how you'll be presenting those processes and all. Then statement of purpose, instructions, checklist, types of reports, reference, and bibliography. So these are the few topics we'll be dealing in the coming few sessions of professional communication. So moving on to the main session, let's start with what formal writing is about. Generally, formal writing deals with a purpose based writing, which includes formal letters, business reports, even meeting minutes, the minutes of the meeting, all comes under the formal writing. So you can understand what formal writing is about. Formal writing is that form of writing which is used generally for the business, legal, academic, or for professional purposes. So the thing is that generally the formal writing includes or undertakes under a situation of main purpose. Under the formal writing, the main aspect is about the technical writing. So coming to the technical writing is mainly intended for a particular audience or the delivery of the technical information, or it might be preferred for a certain kind of audience. So when a technical writing is undertaken, the delivery is always about technical information, and also the people who are listening to this technical writing or who are writing this technical writing will be having quite knowledge about what the subject is about, and those who are listening to it will always understand or will have some knowledge about that specific topic or the whatever subject it is about. For example, if you're considering a presentation or writing about some engineering stuffs, generally if someone is asking about what mechanical engineering is about or a civil engineering is about, so the thing is like when you're presenting it or writing an essay, or when you're writing something about civil engineering or mechanical engineering, it is specially intended to understand or give information to that particular audience. Even they'll be having some knowledge about that particular topic, and also when you're teaching them or writing about it, even you will be having some knowledge about this special information. So this is what technical writing is about. Here the intended audience should have a certain knowledge, and also the main reason why they need the knowledge is for to understand what technical jargons are being used and the meaning of the text is being there. Now the thing is that what is the difference between technical writing and literary style of writing? As you have seen in the previous slide, you must have understood what technical writing is about, but you must have been familiar with the literary style of writing as well. The thing is that you might understand when you're reading your textbooks, your course textbooks, it generally contains a technical form of writing, but while you're reading your novels or some other books, the thing is like it will contain a literary style of writing. So this lies the main difference between the technical writing and the literary writing. So moving on to the main difference between the technical writing and the literary writing, the first difference lies between the thing is that in the case of technical writing, this is being specially conveyed for the purpose of technical information. The thing is like if a technical information have to be conveyed to the audience, then technical writing will be undertaken. But in the case of literary writing, it mainly intends for creativity, innovative purposes. For example, in the case of poems and novels. So that's what about literary writing is. The other difference lies in the case of readers, how they are going to interpret it. So in the case of technical writing, those who have the knowledge about that particular aspect will be reading that subject. But in the case of literary writing, what happens is that those who have an interest in certain areas, mainly in the case of novels, the short stories, the poems and all, they will be reading the literary writing. Then the other difference is about, in the case of technical writing, generally the language used is direct, but in the case of literary writing, the language used is imaginative, then literary techniques, then creativity will be there. That's what the case of literary writing is. Then in the case of technical writing, it appeals to the mind, but in the case of literary writing, it appeals to the emotions. It draws our emotions, it creates imagination. That's what literary writing is about. Then in the case of technical writing, the vocabulary used might be, in the most of the cases it is simple and technical jargons will be used, but in the case of literary writing, more complex, some confusing, then linguistic, all this dialects, all such kind of different words or vocabulary will be used in the case of literary writing. So these are the main difference between the technical writing and the literary writing. Now moving on to the what are the elements of style in technical writing. When you are writing for a technical purpose, what are the elements that you have to keep in mind, or what are the steps that you have to follow while technically writing? So the first thing is about the clarity. Clarity is mainly about the understanding level. The thing is that when you're writing, it should be understood to the audience. Then it is about the accuracy. Accuracy means there should be a clear difference between the fact and the opinion. What the fact is about and what your opinion is should be clearly differentiated. And also, if there are some references, if you are giving, that should also be cited properly. That's what accuracy is about. Then it is about the brevity. Brevity, which means to keep a balance between the amount of information that you're being presenting and the time needed to read that document. The thing is that when you're presenting a certain information, if a person is reading that document and when he's interpreting it, when he's understanding it, the time taken for both the cases should always be in balance. It should not be that if you present a small thing and you have written a lot and it takes more and more time to read and understand it, that should not be there. The thing is that when you're presenting, if you're presenting it 1 or 2 lines, then keep the length of the document which you're writing also the same. That's what the brevity of writing is about. Then the next element is about the sentence length. So sentence length is about, if there is a complex sentence, you have to cut short on it and present it in a simpler manner. Then the thing is about the paragraphs. When you're writing it in paragraph, the thing is that you have to mention one topic in one paragraph. That's what ideal technical writing is about. Then the final element is about the reader centricity, which means that whatever you are presenting it or whatever your work is about, make it as easy as possible for the readers to understand. So these are the 6 important elements of technical writing, starting with clarity, then comes to accuracy, then it's about brevity, then it's about sentence length, paragraphs, and finally the reader centricity. Now moving on to the next topic, that is the common errors in writing. When you write a technical report, what are the things that you have to avoid? What are the mistakes that you have to avoid? The first thing is about avoid using I or we. You can use it, but the thing is that I, we should be maximum avoided. It means that when you are presenting it in the first person, that should not be there. Maximum try to avoid it. Then the second thing is that try to avoid past tense. Then it comes to limit the use of jargons. Jargons can be used. The thing is that in the case of technical writing, there will be the use of jargons, but overuse of jargons should be avoided. Then the thing is that do not start the sentence with so. Then do not start the sentence with but. Instead you can use however. Then the final thing is that do not start or end the sentence with to. So these are the few things that you have to keep in mind while you are technically presenting a report or a writing. So this is all for this video. This is all for this session. Hope you must have understood what formal writing is about, what technical writing is about, what is the difference between technical writing and what is the difference and what literary writing is about. Then what are the elements that you have to keep in mind. Then what are the errors that you have to avoid while writing a technical report. So go through this thoroughly, understand it, and always I request everyone to maintain a proper note for this 5th module. So thank you.